Heyo everybody, XCI here for a blind let's play of Dragon Age Origins. Here we have Xander and a camp full of allies. They're all spread about right now, and for this episode I have a lot, and I mean a lot, of codexes to get through. And I just went through them again to see if I could put some of these to memory. Oh no, did it wipe like the ones I saw? I hope not, because I'm not going to remember where to go. Okay, so I think I have most of them marked. For some reason this last one did not mark, this is the one I read, the last one I read, Mage's Collective. So let's just go back to the beginning, and I'll try to remember things as I go and try to summarize some of these very lengthy entries. So Desire Demon is up first. So this is the demon that was in the Fade, that possessed Connor, that Morrigan took out. You know, very smart demons, very they manipulate people to get what they want. So the story here is from this former senior enchanter Malleus, and it's hilarious because it says that, you know, like as he's interviewing this Desire Demon, it seems like the demon is as interested in him as he is of the demon, and that she, and indeed I could only think of her as such now because they can take forms and they make you see whatever they want you to see, or even the environments they want you to see, smiled warmly at me and laughed a musical sound that seemed to thrill my old heart. So frightened was I of this creature's legendary abilities to twist the hearts of men, and so relieved was I when I looked across the table into her dark eyes. This was a fearsome creature of the Fade, but as I spoke with her, I slowly came to realize that this demon was merely misunderstood as we mages are ourselves. Now, I'm willing to bet that this mage here, the senior enchanter Malleus, was actually manipulated to feel that way, and was probably not in a safe place by this point in the interview. But in any case, and then it goes on to say, right here is like, as soon as they realize that they've been defeated, they're willing to start negotiating, right? Which is what happened to Morrigan. It never got to the point where the offer was made, but I guess you can like pull a wish out of these Desire Demons, but ultimately the wishes themselves, they're probably going to sway in the favor of the Desire Demons. So never quite the best idea, no matter what, to deal with the demons. So next up is the Rage Demon. I had no idea those fire things inside the Fade were Rage Demons. I thought they were just fire elementals or something like that, but it turns out that these fire elementals pretty much are they're the essence of a Rage Demon, and their whole purpose is if they see something, they attack it. Fairly simple, very straightforward. Rage fueled demons. So yeah, simple, straightforward. Now we have the Revenant. I mean, this guy kicked our ass. This was actually a pretty awesome read here, so I'm going to reread it here. So an entire unit of men, all slain by one creature. I didn't believe it at first, your perfection, but it appears that this is so. We have a survivor, and while at first I thought his rantings pure exaggeration, it appears to be no simple skeleton. The descriptions of this creature's abilities were eerily similar to those our brothers at Marnus Pell encountered almost a century ago. Men pull through the air to skewer themselves on the creature's blade. Sound familiar? And attack so quick that it was able to assault multiple opponents at once. No, your perfection. What we have here is indeed a Revenant, and nothing less. As the comments then said in the entry, the best way to approach this demon is from afar with ranged attacks. If you notice all your guys get pulled in close, you basically take over all of your characters and run them out of that perimeter of the Revenant, and then just start nailing them at range. So yeah, frig this. I hope I never face two Revenants. That would be crap. Okay, next up, Magic and Religion. We have Apostates. So we have here it goes into the idea of the Apostates. The neophyte can sometimes mistake an apostate and a Maleficarum, aka me. I believe I was having trouble like distinguishing between these, but it got clear, right? So a Maleficarum, it's someone who goes over the edge and uses blood magic, so things that are against the Maker's wishes or the Maker's commandments or whatever it's called. So against the will of the Maker, right? Whereas an apostate is just a mage that either escaped the circle of the Magi and therefore the Chantry's laws, or they are a hedge mage, a mage who was just raised outside of the rules of the chantry. If, for example, the witches, so this would be like the Morgans of the world, raised in the wilds to become witches, or of the Chassin. So, because I guess Flemeth's witches are kind of associated to the Chassin Wilders, and then the shamans of the Avar barbarians. Oh, this is the part that Xander's going to put an end to this crap if he has a choice. So this is where no matter how a mage has become apostate, the chantry treats them alike. Templars begin a systematic hunt to bring the apostate to justice. In almost all cases, justice is execution. Absolutely not. Not in Xander's world. Now that Xander's kind of been introduced to this in the world, if this comes up, especially we've seen something with Alistair now where like I believe Alistair thinks this way, like blood magic wrong, don't do it, kill person, right? No, that's gonna be that. Yeah, Xander will put an end to that if it comes up. If there is some overriding reason the mage should live, the rite of tranquility is employed instead. So basically, magic lobotomy. And okay, fine, but that's if like the mage is doing something wrong. In Xander's eyes, if it's a mage who's doing something wrong, and instead of killing this mage, you can give him a magic lobotomy and he could be useful to society, Xander would take that option. But not this witch hunt crap. That's not gonna fly with Xander anymore. So we have blood magic. This goes into the whole blood magic school that they thought it was its own school, but in fact there's like magic that that can be, you can get access to magic that's not available to you by using blood magic in order to get access to that magic sooner, that sort of stuff. Then there's this whole thing where like lyrium can be used instead of blood magic. But then I was like, so how did that guy who offered to help Connor, how is he going to use the lyrium I could have gotten from the Circle of Magi to do that casting, because he was already a blood mage? So that's confusing to me now, because it sounds to me like the Tranquil. The Tranquil are the only ones who can use lyrium without ill effect. So I don't know how that would have panned out. But anyways, that's it for that. And then we have the rise of the Chant of Light, and a subsequent fall of the Old Imperium has led to blood magic being all but stamped out, as it should be, for it poses nearly as great a danger to those who would practice it as to the world at large. And this is from the Four Schools of Treaties by First Enchanter. So this is biased, right? This documentation here. So this last paragraph is biased. History's biased. There's a line that kind of goes like that, right? Like history is written by the winner, right? Not the loser. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. So we'll see how that pans out in this story. But here we go. Culture and history. Okay, let's see how much I can get through here. So History of Ferelden, Chapter 1. So this talks about how in the 33rd year of the Exalted Age, Calenhad Therin became Terran of Denerim. What's awesome here was one line that goes, and sometimes you'll miss these things, right? But it says, I'm not going to find it now that I need to find it. The songs are filled with wild exaggerations and outright lies, but this hardly differs from the scholarly papers of some of my contemporaries. So basically, bards pass on this history of how King Calenhad took. Like we just would, like I don't know what episode this happened in, but it was the one where like King Calenhad has like a stable hand. He kind of gets the honor of the king because he basically puts the king in his place for being not honorable, and so the king just kneels and says, "You're basically a better person than I am, so take the crown." But then you read it here, actual history says, no, actually, although the songs speak of this as like this mythical event of Calenhad and how his ring, like then there's the armor. Remember, like Lake Calenhad entry has something to do with like he spent like a year and a day blessing water or something from the lake, blessing each ring of the armor with the water of the lake, and then they made this armor which arrows and blade would bounce off of. But this just says that the Circle of the Magi crafted a suit of silvery white armor that by all accounts repelled it. So Calenhad didn't do it himself. So there's that piece right there that contradicted the legends. And then the other piece was here. The poets tell us that every lord knelt before Calenhad without question. The fact that he attended the land's meet surrounded by ash warriors and loyal mages of the circle is generally omitted from the ballads, however. So he came with an army and he basically took it. And he's like the third person to ever take Ferelden or something. I can't find that now, but anyways, he's the third one who ever took it over. And so from Calenhad came the line of Therin kings and queens who reigned uninterrupted until the 44th year of the Blessed Age. So it lasted a whole age. I don't know if Blessed came after Exalted, but I guess they went for a long time. And then we have here, the rightful king was forced to flee Denerim, and for 70 years a puppet sat upon the throne. So, wait, who is the puppet from when the Orlesian invasion came? So the Orlesians dethroned some puppet king? I feel like I missed something here. I feel like I didn't get this history yet. Who is the puppet king? Anyways, maybe we'll find that out. Maybe I've forgotten it. We'll move on. So characters, we have Connor Guerin. So that's the Isolde's boy, the Jarl's son of Redcliffe, which we unpossessed. This entry is a little weird to me because it concludes with 8 from the circle, he was freed from the demon's power. Connor will be sent to the circle tower, where he will no longer pose a danger to the innocent. Like, I knew he'd be sent to the circle tower, but I'm pretty sure we did this, not the circle. I'm pretty sure Morrigan freed him from the demon's power. So I don't know if this is a bug in the game or if something's getting rewritten in a weird way, but in any case, that's strange to me. And it comes up again, which I'll get to it. So Arl Rendon Howie. So this was the bastard behind Taryn Logain, who hired the assassin elf. So little history about him and how he fits into this whole Game of Thronesian plot. Like, this is crazy. There's so much noble plot going on right now that I can't keep track of everything that's going on in this paragraph. But the Arling of Amaranthine winds along the sinuous northeast coast of Ferelden. But anyway, so this guy right here, he was born during the occupation, and like many of the nobles at the time, joined Prince Merrick's rebels. He fought alongside young Bryce Coslin, and this is where everything goes like I'm missing entries or something, right? Future Taryn of Highever and Leonis Bryland, future Earl of South Reach. I mean, this is all just names being thrown everywhere. It was the most catastrophic defeat of the entire occupation, from which only 50 rebel soldiers escaped alive. Although he was decorated for valor by King Merrick, Howie's abrasive manner have earned him almost universal dislike amongst his peers. So the exact opposite of Arl Eamon Garin. So interesting. It's like dark versus light here. Isolde, we have an update to the Isolde piece here. When her son began to show signs, so she hid him because he was an apostate mage, which really wasn't he apostate, or was he a Maleficarum because he attracted the attention of a demon? Or did he summon? I feel like he summoned that demon so that his father would be healed. So he's actually a Maleficarum, unless I'm mistakening how that all went down. But and then it ends here. The Circle of the Magi were finally called in, almost too late, and Connor was freed from the demon's power, though the damage to Redcliffe was severe. When was the Circle of the Magi called in? Is that like did that happen after we kind of neutralized him by neutralizing the demon, and then the circle got called in to kind of make the kid not insane? I don't know, but weird to me. And then we have an update here to Mactyr. Logain Mactyr. His actions sparked a civil war. Logain supporters found themselves fighting their neighbors who blamed Logain for the death of their king. So now the rumors are now getting countered by the truth. Civil war is beginning. And so, as well as those who simply wish to take advantage of the power vacuum. So people are starting to see the truth there and starting to, to create an uprising. So that'll be interesting to kind of play a part in and find out, try to navigate that somehow so that it benefits the whole Grey Warden effort. The Antivan Crows send their regards. Okay, so here we have Zavran Erenai. He's the elven assassin who's basically been hired to hunt us down and murder us all, or maybe just me and Alistair, since we're the only official Grey Wardens left. And so the history behind the Antivan Crows is, that sounded more pirate or like a dwarf than what the elf sounded like, but I'm going to move on. So Antiva is sort of like the Ferelden of the north. It's where all the merchants would come through in order to make trade, and so it's become one of the wealthiest in the world. And although the monarchy is too weak to support an army, the biggest strength of Antiva is because they have the most efficient, most feared, and most expensive guild of assassins in the world, and that alone basically defends the borders from invasion, including invasions from the Qunari, which supposedly are like a brutish race. Like, that would be the Sten race, which are supposed to be demon-looking humanoids, but Dragon Age 1 I guess it was said in the comments, where because of technology limitations, they couldn't design the meshes to actually show the Canary the way that they were meant to be shown, and that was unfortunate. That was an unfortunate choice, because I did an image search, Google image search on Canary, and they look awesome. Okay, so here we have Aveline, Knight of Orlais. So this was what Liliana, the bard tale that Liliana's told us, almost word for word. This is the female knight that got defeated, males in the tournament, and then the Kaleva was a bastard, discovered she was a female, killed her in the ring. And when Prince Freyan becomes emperor, he basically abolishes the law that disallows women from becoming knights, and they revere Sir Aveline as their patron. So I love that story. That was a great one. This is a hard one to talk about because it's chapter 2, so I feel like I'm missing some context here, but it was still interesting because I keep hearing Andraste. I know that she's part of the lore and tied to the Maker, but I wasn't able to do the association that I needed so that I could conceptually connect all the pieces about the lore of this world. And Andraste is pretty much a mashup of the Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ. There's got to be someone out there who's written a paper on Dragon Age's lore and how it's influenced by Roman Catholic biblical roots, right? Like Andraste is very much a Virgin Mary / Jesus figure. She becomes the betrothed of the Maker, who the Maker himself appears to Andraste and proposed that she come with him, leaving behind the flawed world of humanity. There's some correlations, not exact, right? But you can kind of see how this sort of mirrors. And then she basically says, no, how about you bring paradise back to the world of men? And then the more you read this, the more you're like, he says, yeah, sure, but they have to stop worshiping false gods and accept the Maker's divine commandments. One of them being, don't use magic in a bad way, right? And so magic to me is starting to symbolize something like the sin of man, and how magic is kind of, because it's tied to demons, and the demons are kind of 7 sins, kind of compose the demons that are in the Fade, and the Fade is sort of the area of the Maker, which is kind of like the heaven. And you kind of see where I'm kind of threading all of this together and kind of trying to make sense of all of this. And so magic is really kind of man trying to control their urges to abuse power by taking advantage of any of the things that encompass sins, right? And that's what leads to them becoming the Maleficars, right? They go too far and they let sin be a part of them, and then they go against the Maker, and etc., etc. Like, you can, I hope you guys can see. I'm not going crazy here, right? Like, you guys can see what I'm trying to say, right? There's I'm just starting to rant now, and I don't know if I'm making any sense, but the more I read, the more I think I'm starting to thread this tapestry together. Tales of the Destruction of Thetis by Brother Genitivi. Oh, we're gonna meet Genitivi, or at least we're trying to, in Denerim, right? So this is a book written by Brother Genitivi. Okay, well, maybe we'll learn more from Brother Genitivi himself, and yeah, this will start to whatever. I've ranted too long about that one. So the first Blight chapter 2, I feel like I need chapter 1 because it probably talks about how blights get created, or how they kind of, the inception of the blights. But this one right here is that basically barely anyone remembers the first one because it happened so long ago and no one survived it, or something like that. But in the second one, the Darkspawn, they basically create the worst plague across the land. Everything dies in their wake. It is said that those cursed magisters who became the first Darkspawn scratched at the very earth to find solace in the darkness of the dwarven deep roads. I don't know what that is, but maybe we'll cross those. And there in the shadows they multiplied. So more Darkspawn beget more Darkspawn, and then they try to locate the old gods, which are those archdemons, which are the dragons. This is all it's all mapping out now in my head, and one of them in particular, Dumat, which we've seen since the beginning of the game. This name has come up in lore. First among the old gods, once known as the Dragon of Silence, before the Maker imprisoned him and all his brethren beneath the earth for the first sin, uprising the Maker's place in mankind's heart. So I'm thinking because power corrupts, that sort of thing. The slumbering dragon awoke, freed from the Maker's prison by his twisted followers, and became corrupted himself. Dumat was transformed into the first archdemon, etc., etc., etc. Blight on the world, blah blah blah, Darkstorm, and here we are again with Dumat awakening once more. And let's see what happens at the end of the game. I have no idea. I'm a little afraid, but we'll find out. So, Journal of the Tranquil. This is just a journal of a mage who became a Tranquil, and I'm going to try to remember this here, but as a boy, he showed signs of magic, but he was always afraid he couldn't control the magic that was within him, and then he got taken to the school, the circle, and the circle did the test on him, and he knew that he wasn't going to have the power to pass the last test, which is the harrowing. And because he knew he would fail that, he basically takes the path of the Tranquil. So this is where Tranquil... Let's try this again. Now I serve in other ways. We Tranquil manage the archives, we run the tower, purchase the supplies, and maintain the accounts. Our condition also allows us to use the magical element lyrium without ill effect. This is what I read where I'm questioning how, and I forget his name, but the mage who helped us with Connor, how he would have used this if he's not a Tranquil. And thus we are the ones who enchant the magical items. We are the merchants who sell these items to those the circle permits, and the coin from those sales provides the circle's wealth. So they end up being part of the circle in some way, shape, or form, but I feel like it's slavery, and they just don't know it's slavery. I don't know if Xander's too cool with this. Like, it doesn't sound right to Xander. Notes. The only note we have here is the correspondence, the sexual correspondence, the S&M exchanges going on here, and then we have from the nobility, and there was one here. Mages Collective. So this is tied to the guy we just met on the pier, on the docks. The secretive guild of mages that are trying to police themselves, and that's all this pretty much says is mages of, and I love how there's like political communities of mages, libertarians, Aquitarians, and loyalists. I love that there's like these segments. But anyways, they're all starting to see eye to eye with respect on why the Chantry has control of the laws that dictate how the mages police themselves, you know? So I like the idea of like mages basically taking that power back. A very liberal approach to magic, which is what Xander would fully support, especially because the whole Templar, witch hunting, blah 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 stuff, and so the collective here is the secret service essentially that allows mages to make requests for anonymous parties to then help them with, and I actually can't wait to do these quests. I think that this is going to trigger some interaction stuff with Alistair that I think is going to be interesting for the relationship, because now I really don't know about Alistair. I mean, I feel like I'm in the same kind of quandary as I am with Morgan. I like both of them for different reasons, but they both have very strong feelings about things that I don't agree with. So Xander doesn't agree with. So we'll see how it goes. That was a long read. That's the whole episode, guys. This is a whole episode of just summarizing the Codex, but it had to be done. It's been a while. You know, to end this off though, I'm going to do something that was suggested in the comments because I think it's hilarious. I'm just gonna see if I can prompt something with Mog. Oh, something else got prompted. I love it. Oh my god, what's gonna happen here? Creating alpha. You guys establishing alpha. Stan's just establishing alpha. What is this racket? Watch Stan and Mog. Oh my god, I feel like watching this play out. Back away slowly. Oh, I don't know what to do here. I'm actually a little worried. I didn't think this was going to happen. I was trying to prompt something with Alistair. Oh, what is this racket? Watch Stan and Mog. Back away slowly. You know, I'm gonna let Mog take this with Sten. Oh, that should have panned out a lot cooler. I wish something happened there. That's too bad. Okay, trying to find a way through the earth, are we? He is always digging, this silly dog. Oh man, it's going to take some time, you know. Oh, don't be silly. You'll just mess up the campsite. All right, have fun then. It's going to take some time, you know. No, at least he's not like whimpering. Sometimes I go to this dog and he's whimpering. I don't know if it's because the events around the dog are making him stressed out and then he whimpers. But I want to kind of create a scenario where he doesn't do that, you know? I want him to be a happy dog. Well, good luck with that then. Just leave him to his digging. Happy dog. Okay, I want to give I guess I have to go to Alistair and take care of business. Yeah. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
What do you need?
Oh shit, no, I needed to give him a gift. Damn it, never mind. Hold on. Here we go. Let's go to the inventory. Let's go to the dog bone. Hey, Alistair. Either you can have this dog bone because you were trying to take food from Mog the other night, or you can give it to Mog. Maybe this will trigger him giving this to Mog. Lamb bone, gift.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
Oh, it doesn't say anything unique because it's a bone. I guess it's just our little joke. I love it though. Yeah, I don't know if I want to prompt anything else. I mean, I'll cut some of this down to get it to about half an hour, but I'm easily way over. I feel like I need to do something with these guys. Oh, these guys have gifts. Ooh, I can fix. Ooh, someone said it's kind of hacky though, where you can kind of fix like relationships by like purchasing gifts from these guys, since the gifts can just be positive gifts, because they sell a positive gift and a negative, like, and a joke that hinders. But if you use both of them, it balances out, so it's just for fun, but you can really game the system. Ah, well, for now, you know what, I think that's it for now. I feel like I need to, I don't know what I like, all that Codex reading has disoriented me about what comes next. So for now, I hope you stuck around with this episode and got a summary of those codexes from me, but I understand if you just skip through this to the end. I will see you next time in the next episode, where we'll push this along a little further. Until then, don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire everyone. I will talk to you soon. Peace, everybody.
You let Lady Isolde sacrifice herself with blood magic. How could you do that?
Oh, this brought up something completely different.